Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Day 9, and you wouldn't believe this, but it's the time for... Screw it, you know what? Alright, let's do this again. Okay. And hey, guys, welcome back to part 3 of Day 9 Daily number 358. I'm Day 9, and I get how to say things. Let's go ahead and briefly review what we've been looking at. Really nuts as hell play from both players. Some brilliant decisions, some not so brilliant decisions. Want to look at both because, again, there's nuggets of truth in this game. It physically hurts me to watch. My stomach muscles are twisting like it's trying to reject some sort of alien parasite, when really it's just them doing fundamentally wrong things in a video game environment. So let's go ahead and step back into the game. We see that this Zerg player, who amazingly, against a player who was going all Archon, Phoenix, Mothership, continued to make Mutalisks, and once he managed to get over that hump of killing off the Phoenix count and losing all his Mutalisks, he remade this Mutalisk army and was able to do some damage. Hey, remember that Void Ray we saw made early in the game? Lols, it's been so useful. But this counterattack heavy style, very strong on this map. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stay for it. I'm going to go ahead and slow down to normal for it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Archon toilet. Le toilette du Archon. Come. Come on. And bam! Oh, take another hit. Bam! Alright, that's deeply rewarding and one of the reasons why this game is fun, but again, if you have a Mutalisk heavy style and you see any ripple in the slightest, you should run. Yeah, you see how that Archon was not particularly useful? Yeah, you see how these Archons have the 1-0 upgrade and no other upgrade? Yeah, boo. And still very smart play, I think, by our Protossi buddy to sort of like poke around these fringes, but still pulling back. Now, I have to speed up because I want to be able to take a variety of questions at the end of this daily. Again, leaving armies over here generally bad, but we can do a recall and pull everything back together again. Be careful with your Mutalisk positioning. Might want to poach with one Mutalisk. And again, you want to try to think of how to solve problems when you're doing this. If you are running into a problem where you keep running all your Mutalisks directly into, I don't know, Archons and Motherships with Vortex, then you should say, well, how can I solve this problem? Well, can I maybe have one Mutalisk be leading? I like the sound of that. Or even having something as simple as getting Overlord speed, I think, is always kind of a good choice. If you had Blink Stalkers, maybe might not like that as much. Still not so bad. And once again, oh god, it's going to feel so good when you see it too, guys. Here come the Mutalisks. Oh! Could have done so much more damage, but that still felt great, didn't it? Let's just actually see that one more time because I think it's going to be worth it. Here it comes. Here's all the Mutalisks I have selected. Alright, get ready, and... Here. Alright, let me just see. He has that many Mutalisks. And, he gets a, surprisingly not that many. Surprisingly not as many as I would have thought. So now that our Protoss buddy has this expansion, Zerg's going to do what I think is an underdone maneuver that is absolutely great. He is going to move over here and he is going to kill off this main. The Protoss can't exactly defend it and doesn't really want to. There's no money here, but there's all the critical buildings down here, which our Zerg buddy so aptly just kills off. And this is going great. Now, there's something I asked earlier on, which is, well, hell, if we see a lot of Archons and Zealots, why don't we transition into Roach? And what we saw was that Zerg didn't have enough time, and the fact that he made Mutalisks allowed him to get an advantage again and step back into the game. But Zerg has been doing that, stepping back into the game and getting the advantage for about 10 minutes. And again, remember what we were saying about Protoss? Yeah, man, if you have 12 Archons and you get the 13th Archon, yeah, come on, get something else, get the Templar. But here, again, we're seeing the Zerg player who now has 32 Mutalisks, and what's he doing? Well, he's actually going to be making more Mutalisks. It doesn't actually help that much. I would have loved to see a transition earlier on. And what is one of the easiest ways to set up transitions? to get upgrades for units you don't have yet. If you're envisioning, yeah, you know what, I'll probably end up going Ultralisks later on, then keep getting these melee upgrades. If you're saying, yeah, I'm going to eventually transition into Roach, Infestor, yeah, let's start getting those missile attacks early on. What you never want to be in is a situation where you're going, oh my god, I need blank right now. Allow me to start doing blank. If you ever start doing something in StarCraft 2, then it's probably terrible. And of course we see yet again an Archon toilet. Yeah. Archon, 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 Archon toilet. Come on, come on. Come on, little Archon toilet. Oh! Taking down exactly one. He like ran away with his whole army. I don't get it, man. Je ne get pas. And amazingly, 4 Archons are still here. 4 Archons are still there! And the Zerg, I must build more Mutalisks. Doing a counterattack here, this is okay. But there's going to come a point where, as the Protoss, we're not actually going to ever leave this base. This one is kind of dying. Some Storm, see how much damage that Storm did? That's kind of the reason why I say, don't go for that 13th Archon when you have 12 Archons. Yeah. You see Mutalisk moving in, and an incredibly bad decision ensues. Do not ever try to kill a mothership with frickin' Mutalisks, and he's still making Mutalisks. Oh god, oh damn it. Notice how Zerg is starting to take his expansions a little bit more tight-packedly. It's this sort of expansion placement that, I don't know, works great for a Roach Hydra army, or a Roach Infestor army, or just a good ground army. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the fun part. Are you guys ready for the funsies? See, it's a fun game, but it's not a good game. Oh, the Mutalisks! Oh, God, run away. And now he amazingly manages to kill off the mothership. I don't know exactly how that's possible, likely because 4 Archons are up here. And he counterattacks, he ends up taking it all down. Amazing. Alright, cool. Now, what should Zerg be doing right now? I want to pose this question to you, beautiful viewer. What should Zerg be doing right now? And I want to give you a hint. Look at the... I'm going to come over here. I'm going to give you a hint. Look at the minimap with me. Journey with me to the realm of the minimap. We have Zerg. He seems to be comfortably on about 3 mining bases. Actually, how much does this have? Well, okay, we'll call it like 2.5 mining bases. Our Protoss is comfortably on 2 bases. What seems pretty good? More Mutalisks. I'm seeing a lot in the chat, right? The big thing that I feel is that he should absolutely not be trying to go for counterattacks anymore. Why is that? Because what expansion can Seed take? Pretty much this one, and that's it. This is the only one that Seed can really take. What's the other one that Seed could reasonably take? This one. So right now, just by asking myself, where's my opponent likely to be expanding next? Oh my god, I have all these decisions that fall out so naturally. This is why I always say, managing expansions is what the game is about. When can I expand? Where should I expand? Where can he expand? Where should he expand? Where can he expand? Here and here. Where should he expand? Well, probably here. Any other options? No, he can't take this. He mined it out. Can he take this? Well, no, that's a completely dumbass place to take, right? This is way more vulnerable than this other location. So there's literally 2 places our opponent can expand to. What's the best way to exploit that? Well, pretty much by trying to get a huge-ass army. Yeah, I mean, an army that works well in a direct confrontation, aka not this army. Not this army. Zerg should have been sort of trying to break free from this a little while later, but Zerg's going to do another decision that, again, I think does not really make a lot of sense. Which is that, okay, so he's going to be trying to do damage as best he can, and there's this weird decision. Oh my god, that was so bad. There's a weird decision that Zerg does in a moment, which is to try to harass this worker line. And by the way, I just like to note that Protoss is still at 100 upgrades. Lol, 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 lol. But that's okay, because so is Zerg. And also, we still have some Archons up here. They'll be there for all time. There's still so much here. Yeah, bringing some of these down. Cool. In a situation like this, why do I not like the idea of harassing the worker line? Why do I not like the idea of doing that? Well, this is the idea. obviously, if you can kill anything for free, you should. That's just like a fact, right? If there's a pylon in your base and you can kill it, then kill it. Just done, right? It doesn't matter if it's a worker, it doesn't matter if it's a pylon. But let's assume that our opponent has a kind of a good defense, right? Kind of like when you walk into a Terran's main and you're trying to pick off reactors, you're going to sustain some hits, some damage from some Marines, maybe a Thor shot, something like this. So you might lose a Mutalisk or two while doing that. Here, we see that there's, you know, cannons right here. If we wanted to harass this line, we'd have to kill off these cannons. We might have to worry about some storms landing on us. We might have to kill this off. And why do I not like the idea of trying to do this? Why does this literally not make sense here? Alright, thinking right along. Well, worker harassment and killing off workers damages him for long-term economy type battles, where he will be having a lot of expansions and will be gathering up huge numbers of workers and distributing them, and he's going to need that money. In a situation where basically he has a base that he can take, suddenly killing off workers is not as valuable. Now, that might sound a little weird until you think of it in an extreme way. Imagine a Terran player who has no more bases he can take at all. Like, literally, his build command center button is broken, and all he has is one gold expansion with a whole lot of workers there. And that's it. That's all he has, and that's all he ever will have. It doesn't make sense to risk harassing, because so what if his income rate decreases? He's still going to be getting up the same huge army. It just might take a little while longer. And if you have this harass-focused army, alright, cool, you've delayed him from making his army. Okay, he made it anyways. And it doesn't end up having an overall effect on the gameplay. I mean, you kind of imagine, even if they're both mined out on the map, there's nothing left to mine. You're trying to harass workers. It's like, well, it doesn't change the rate that he can get his big army. Or, excuse me, it doesn't choose the fact that he will eventually get that overall big army. So in this spot, I mean, like, if you're harassing workers, you're trying to buy yourself more time. Zerg doesn't really need more time to get expansions. He already has all the expansions he needs up. What he really needs to do is start building roaches. What is this? Look at all these things being made. Yeah, I mean, journey with me, right? He's gonna try to harass. Oh, he's getting stormed. He's gonna try to maybe counterattack up here. Come on, moving things right along. Moving things right along. Yep, so he's gonna do this sort of pressure. Oh yeah, oh no, he's taking some damage. See this? I saw this move and I was like, why, man? Why? You invested money in harassment. That delays your big army from being built. And you harassed him, and he's, I guess it delays his big army from being built, except he's still going to get the same big army, and you're still going to just have these harass-focused units. You don't want to be so... Harassing is really good when there's a lot of resources left on the map, and all these players are going for strategies that are big and resource-rich. This player is going for one big damn Final Punch army. You better have a big damn response Final Punch army ready. And he doesn't. So as we speed things right along, after this game where Zerg made 1,000,001 blunders and Protoss played all wacky and kooky and crazy, running around, and now he has to let the creep expand, and ooh, trying to go so freaking far away from all his units, losing everything to immense harassment. Losing so much. We're up at like 40 Mutalisks, we're now at 19, but hey, Broodlords eventually get made. And Zerg realizes, wait a minute, I can make roaches and eventually win. And now, while this thing sort of speeds steadily along, let's just go ahead and say I open up the field again to some questions. As we see Zerg finally stepping in. You see this? You see how ineffectual this harassment is going? Yeah, sure, we've maybe killed off a great amount of workers. In fact, we probably killed off another 30 to 40 in that last little period of time. But it didn't change the fact that this huge army ended up popping up. And we can't deal with that huge army. Only once we ended up getting Broodlords and a ton of roaches did that end up working out. And Zerg, of course, had multiple opportunities to do this a million times in the past. But you know what they say, a million past opportunities doesn't matter as long as you eventually do the right thing. An important quote, an important phrase. I just want to let you see Protoss get their mold. Oh, storms! Oh, storms! Storms! Oh, storms! Storms! Oh, he stormed his own probes. Alright, great! Okay, you kind of see why that game stung for me. You know, Protoss, in that final engagement, had... Let me actually hit the B button. Because I'm excited. He had 2 attack, and that's it. Zerg had no upgrades on the Roaches and level 1 upgrades on the Broodlords. Again, a lot of it is just the basic decisions, like when am I going to get this unit, when am I going to get that unit, where do I expand, where does he expand, blah, 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 etc. Not a big deal. So, let's go ahead and take their questions. I never want to see your games look like that. Have some consistency, damn it. Devil's advice. Dear Day 9, wouldn't it be worth the harass to free up the 40 to 60 food he had in Mutas to be replaced by Roaches? If you have too many Mutalisks and you need to free up the food for them, generally it means you built too many Roaches or built too many Mutalisks in the first place, and that's the problem that you need to do. In that spot, the Mutalisks buy you a lot of time, so you should just kind of naturally let the Mutalisks die, and the time that you purchased for yourself, you should use to expand. And you can build some spine crawlers and stuff, but the reasonable response of just adding on a lot of larvae and building up the drones, and when they do die, then flooding with the big push, that's probably better. You never want to sacrifice Mutalisks just totally needlessly. You want to, at the very least, get into a favorable engagement for that kind of thing. For that kind of thing. Mishima Beef says, Dear Day 9, how does Protoss handle mass mutaball exactly? I mean, really just Stalkers, Storms, and overall good positioning are it, really. The important thing to note is that Mutalisks, when they get into the final engagement, kind of don't really do that much. So though the harassment might feel brutal and agonizing, you can always be in kind of a good position with a good Storm, Blink, Archon army. And one thing that a lot of players have been doing is when they see the Mutalisks, they actually get War Prisms with speed. And then the instant that the Mutalisks, like, you know, appear up here, they'll go and just sort of scoot all the way along the other side of the map and be doing recalls with really big upgraded Zealots. And then when the Mutalisks obviously pull back to deal with that, then your whole army can move out and you can gain another expansion. I really think the War Prism is like the big key to the future of Protoss success. One more question, and that's it. So, a good last question from Ademed, who says, Dear Day 9, I often reach a point where I'm sitting on 2 bases with a 150-ish food army, and I realize I should have expanded several minutes back, but I didn't, as I don't feel secure enough to do so. How do I get a proper pulse on the situation? I love your use of the word pulse there. This is something that I say so much, and it applies to so many situations, and dearest Ademed, it applies to your situation too. Rewatch the replay and think to yourself, when should I have expanded? Again, your learning happens between games, not during games. You don't want to be in a game and be like, wow, I know what I should have done. Whoopsie daisies, damn it, oh crap. You want to look in between games and identify when should I have expanded. And let's say it's something like you realized at the 13-minute mark you should have expanded earlier, and you say, oh, well, maybe at around the 7-minute mark I should have done that. And then just do it arbitrarily. Because the important thing is that that feeling of insecureness more so comes from internal deliberation, right? Where you're going, should I expand? Ooh, I don't know. Maybe I should expand now. Oh, he has a lot of guys. Well, if I take an expansion, it'll help, but no, I should really spend the money on Roaches right now. Ooh, I don't have a lot of drones, but I really kind of feel like I need to make Roaches right now. Your brain's doing this. So what you want to do is say, fuck you, brain. I'm expanding at the 7-minute mark. And amazingly, that feeling of fear will be lifted because, well, it'll be much lowered, and then it'll slowly diminish over time, because you have made the decision before you're ever in the intense situation to begin with. I mean, to be honest, like, this is something that I had to do a lot whenever I had to do huge public speaking and stuff, you know? Like when I first started doing, like, traveling and going to do casts, because it's kind of intimate here, like, just me talking to a camera. I don't have to worry. If I mess something up, I just sort of look away from the chat and ignore the people being like, LOL, day 9, botch that one, you know? But if I'm like, if I have to go out to a stage, you know, at like, you know, like last year's BlizzCon, or I'm trying to think of what are some other things that happened, like at the countdown party I did, where it's like I have to stand up and just talk to this crowd right now. And I have to be poised and do it. And part of me used to do this thing where I'd be like, well, how do I get into the zone? How do I, you know, and like, now what I do is I just say, well, I'm going to go on stage and I'm going to talk to them, and I've already decided I'm going to do that. So I'm literally not going to think about anything until the mic goes into my hand and it gets turned on. This is a microphone, by the way. And that is where I'm going to start processing, and that's where I'm actually going to start dealing with it. So yeah, you just say, yeah, I'm just going to go for the 7-minute mark, and you just and you just like, what if he has too many units? Well, I don't know, I'm expanding at the 7-minute mark. Poop, and there it goes down. And then once it's gone down, then let your brain go into problem solver mode. Boom! Bam! Submit Fun Day Monday replays to Monday at day9.tv. Newbie Tuesday will have a topic, but it will be a special one that I have provided. Wednesday morning, I have already decided it will be a 10 a.m. daily. That is going to be 7 p.m. in Europe. It will be a Europe daily that Wednesday. And don't worry, because the week after BlizzCon is all Europe dailies. That's right. Starting on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, the week after BlizzCon, European people, it will be for you. Bing! Tomorrow's Fun Day Monday is the Money Dump Fun Day Monday. Please submit a replay of you and your ally doing the money dump, where after the 5-minute mark, one of you may only build expansions, and the other one of you may only build units. And the expander is giving money to the unit builder. Whoo! I'm done, guys. Peace out. Y'all's pretty. Shit.